The humid air hung heavy in the cramped dorm room, thick with the scent of cheap cologne and the faint metallic tang of fear. It was 1998, and my alma mater in Cebu was a world away from the quaint, sun-drenched beaches I'd envisioned. Instead, it was a labyrinth of concrete and shadows, a place where whispers of the supernatural clung to the air like the scent of mangoes after a storm. My roommate, Colette, was a whirlwind of energy, always buzzing about with her friends, her laughter echoing down the hallway. I, on the other hand, was a quiet observer, content to lose myself in the pages of my worn copy of The Picture of Dorian Gray. But lately, the peace I craved was shattered. Started with the whispers. Not the kind of whispers that came from the hallway, but the kind that seemed to come from the very walls themselves. Whispers that spoke of things unseen, of shadows that stretched and twisted in the corners of my vision. Then came the strange occurrences. My belongings would disappear, only to reappear in the most bizarre places, like my favorite scarf found nestled inside a dusty textbook. One night, I woke to the sound of a low, guttural growl. It came from the direction of Colette's bed, but when I turned to look, she was fast asleep, her breathing even and calm. "Colette," I whispered, my voice trembling. She stirred, her eyes fluttering open. "What is it, Sophie?" she asked, her voice groggy. I heard something," I stammered, my heart pounding in my chest. Colette yawned, stretching out her hand to grab her phone. "Must have been the wind," she said, dismissing my concerns. But the wind wasn't blowing. The window was shut tight. The whispers grew louder, the shadows more pronounced. The air in the room seemed to crackle with an unseen energy, leaving me with a sense of unease that I couldn't shake. I began to notice things about Colette that I hadn't before. Her eyes, once bright and friendly, now seemed to hold a strange, almost predatory glint. One night, I woke to find her standing over me, her face illuminated by the pale moonlight filtering through the window. Her eyes were wide, her pupils dilated, and her lips were pulled back in a cruel, predatory smile. "Don't you want to join me, Sophie?" she whispered, her voice low and husky. I recoiled, my heart hammering against my ribs. "Colette, what are you talking about?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. She leaned closer, her breath warm on my face. "We're not so different, you and I," she whispered. "We both have a hunger that needs to be fed." I knew then that something was terribly wrong. My roommate, my friend, was not the person I thought she was. She was something else, something dark and dangerous. And I was trapped in a nightmare with no escape. Then I saw it. A faint, metallic scent, stronger than before, filled the room. It was the smell of blood. And then I saw it, a human leg severed at the knee, lying on the floor beside Colette's bed. It was still warm, the flesh still glistening in the moonlight. Colette turned to me, her eyes gleaming with a primal hunger. She picked up the leg, her fingers sinking into the flesh, and took a bite. The sound of her teeth crunching through bone echoed in the silent room. I screamed, a primal, desperate cry that tore from my throat. I scrambled back, my heart pounding in my chest, as Colette devoured the leg, her face contorted in a mask of pure, unadulterated savagery.